Today, Charlie Sheen opens up about living with HIV. All right, so let me show you a little chart that Dr. Hazenga and I made in preparation for this show. He's been following your blood levels of HIV. This is the viral load. And with your permission, I'm going to share this with everybody.
Please, by all means.
So back on July the 19th, 2011, you were diagnosed. You had 4.4 million of these particles that they identified.
Kind of a lot.
A lot. It's a lot. And within 6 months, as you see from this chart, it's back to normal. It's undetectable. And I want to point something out for everybody, but Charlie, especially for you, it stayed undetectable in those 3.5 years since you got it under control.
Sure.
So why would you take a risk of not taking a cocktail that seems to really be working well for you?
Well, actually, I didn't see it as Russian roulette. I didn't see it as a complete dismissal of the conventional course that we've been on. But this, you know, I'm not recommending that anybody else do this. I'm presenting myself, well, I guess, as some kind of a guinea pig.
All right, so Charlie traveled to Mexico searching for an experimental treatment from a doctor I've never heard of until Charlie told me about him. His name is Dr. Sam Chachoa, and he claims to know how to cure HIV and AIDS. We went looking for information on Dr. Sam Chachoa on the internet and found a controversial and mysterious figure. He claims to know how to cure cancer and AIDS, but we couldn't track down much more on Dr. Chachoa than a couple of videos on YouTube.
It's revolutionary, it's quite new, with powers and abilities far beyond those of normal therapies.
That's a big claim. I wondered why neither my team nor I had ever heard about this therapy, or Dr. Chachoa himself. It's not easy to get in touch with him, but I did finally speak on the phone with Dr. Chachoa about Charlie's HIV status.
He's the first adult in history to go HIV negative. The conventional medicine has never done that. He was still HIV positive 5 years after he started his antivirals.
But Dr. Chachoa claims his therapeutic approach has essentially cured Charlie's HIV.
This is the first person in history without antiretroviral therapy to go HIV negative, and PCR 0. His count went back down to 0 just taking my treatment.
Dr. Chachoa is not licensed to practice in the U.S. He resides and practices in Mexico, where Charlie Sheen recently visited him in his chase for the cure. So you went to Mexico.
I did.
To visit with Dr. Chachoa.
I did, yeah.
What's the treatment? What's being done?
It was a series of injections and then blood work. And again, we did see some incredible results early on.
Explain what you saw that was encouraging.
That off of the med cocktail, that I was undetectable.
HIV titers were not detectable.
Yeah, and it stayed that way. I did an experiment that was I didn't have any faith in, but I went along with it. Two dear friends that you know, they withdrew their blood. I withdrew some of mine, and I added mine to their test tubes. The blood was then incubated, cultured for 4 days. And when the results came back, all three were undetectable. So I actually sat and observed this stuff. You know, that actually happened. And if you'd seen something like that, wouldn't you have thought, okay, there might be something here?
We'll save lives today.
You guys ready to get healthy?